Let me tell you a story. A story about a man named Abraham. A man who once had nothing, but never lost hope. On a freezing winter night in Chicago, Abraham sat on the sidewalk, holding a cardboard sign that read, "Hungry, homeless, any help appreciated." His hands were cold, his stomach was empty, and his heart was tired. Once, Abraham had parents, a job, and dreams. But after losing his family in an accident, and his job in a company shut down, his life fell apart. Bills piled up, friends disappeared, and one night, he had no home. Every night, Abraham looked at the sky and whispered, "God, I don't need riches. Just give me one chance." One evening, outside a small coffee shop, a man in a warm coat stopped in front of him. "Hey," the man said gently, "what's your name?" "Abraham," he replied. "I'm John." The man smiled. "Have you eaten today?" Abraham shook his head. John went inside, returned with hot coffee and a sandwich, and instead of walking away, he sat beside him. And then John said something Abraham would never forget. "Life doesn't end when you fall. It ends when you stop standing up." The next day, John came back. "I own a small delivery business," he said. "I need help cleaning, organizing, anything. I can't promise much money, but I can promise honest work." Abraham's eyes filled with tears. "I'll do anything," he said. That day, Abraham received clean clothes, a warm shower, and something priceless, a chance. The work was hard, the days were long, and fear whispered in his mind, "What if I fail again?" But Abraham didn't quit. He arrived early, stayed late, learned everything. John noticed. One night John asked, "Why do you work so hard?" Abraham replied, "Because I know what it feels like to have nothing, and I never want to go back." John smiled. "Then you're already rich in something." Determination. Just when life started improving, trouble came. A truck broke down. A big client canceled contracts. The business started sinking. John sat in his office late at night, head in his hands. "I might lose everything." Abraham stood beside him and said, "You believed in me when I had nothing. Now let me believe in you." Abraham suggested new ideas, better routes, online marketing, cost-saving plans. John trusted him, and 3 months later, the business recovered. One cold evening, Abraham asked John to stop the car. Near the same coffee shop where they first met, on the sidewalk sat a young man, holding a cardboard sign. Abraham walked over and knelt beside him. "What's your name?" "Michael." "When did you last eat?" Michael shook his head. Abraham smiled, the same smile John once gave him. "Come with me." That night, Michael received food, clothes, shelter, and something greater, a chance. John watched from the car, eyes full of tears. "You've become the man you once needed," he said. 5 years later, Swift Hands delivery was worth millions. Abraham stood in a glass office, looking at the city skyline. John handed him a document. "You're officially a millionaire." Abraham whispered, "I used to count coins for food. Now I count opportunities." But money didn't change him. He still wore simple clothes, still helped the homeless, still gave people chances. At a community event, Abraham stood on stage and said, "I was homeless once, not because I was lazy, but because life pushed me down. What saved me wasn't money, it was one man's kindness. One opportunity can rewrite a life." He looked at John in the audience. John whispered, "I gave you a job, but you gave me purpose." They shook hands, not as boss and worker, but as brothers. And that's the story of Abraham, a man who once slept on cold streets, and now builds warm futures. Not because he was lucky, but because he never stopped believing, and someone named John never stopped giving him a chance.